Hi, in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to sync your OneDrive files to your local computer. We're here in OneDrive. We're signed in today as Gary Colson, and we're online. We are accessing our OneDrive online. We're using Microsoft Edge. We have this tab open here, and we are working with OneDrive online. And that's really one of the great features of OneDrive is that it is cloud storage. Everything is in the cloud. You know it's safe. You know it's backed up. And you can access it from just about anywhere as long as you have a connection to the internet. Now, there are times when you may want those files to be stored locally on your local machine. If you want to work on them offline, if you just think it's easier or better to work with those in the desktop apps, whatever reason, you have the ability to sync your OneDrive files from the cloud to your local computer. And that's what we're going to do in this lesson. You see here on the toolbar, we have this big button that says Sync. We're going to click there and watch what happens. We're going to click on that, and we get this little window that opens up that says, getting ready to sync. We are connecting to OneDrive on your device. If there is no response, you may need to get the latest version of OneDrive. Now, if you're on Office 365 and you've downloaded and installed the desktop apps, you most likely will have the latest version of OneDrive. If not, if nothing happens, and what I mean by nothing, if you don't see this pop up here that says, did you mean to switch apps, you may need to go and download the OneDrive app, and you can do that using this link here. But Microsoft Edge is trying to open up Microsoft OneDrive. Do we want to switch apps? Yes, that's absolutely fine. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click yes. And look what happens here. You see this little flashing thing here? First, I'm going to close this, and we're going to click on that, and we get this window to set up OneDrive. Again, if this doesn't happen, you may need to download OneDrive. But if you've already used Office 365 and you've already downloaded the desktop apps to your computer, you shouldn't have this problem. Now, that being the case, we see that it already recognizes that we're signed in as Gary Colson at Elevator Skills. So the next thing we have to do is simply click Sign In. Now it's going to prompt us for our password, but give it just a second here. But before it didn't ask for a password. It must already have that recorded. Sometimes it may ask for your password. Here, we can go ahead and change where our OneDrive folder lives on our local computer. By default, you can see right here, it says it's going to put it in the C users. It has admin because I'm signed in on the computer as the admin. If you're signed in as yourself, like if I were signed into the computer as Gary Colson, it would have G Colson. And then it's going to put it in the OneDrive folder for Elevator Skills. Now we could change the location. I'm going to click Change Location. And you could pick to put it anywhere you want. But I'm fine with it right where it is. So I'm going to cancel that and click on Next. Now your OneDrive folder is ready for you. It's actually syncing those files and creating that folder. So we're going to click on this button, Open My OneDrive Elevator Skills folder. And when we click there, it's going to take us here. Welcome to OneDrive. There is my OneDrive folder. You'll see all of my documents are now syncing to my computer. Let me move this. Actually, I'm going to resize that. And we've got a little pop-up announcement here that says you are now syncing OneDrive Elevator Skills. That's great. We're going to go ahead and close that. And welcome to OneDrive. They're really happy that we're doing this. We're going to close that. And we have this, which is going to walk us through a couple of things about OneDrive. If it will let me go here. There we go. Share files and folders. Get the mobile app, and we're good to go. So we're going to close that, and we are going to minimize this. We're going to open our File Explorer so that we can see our OneDrive folder. Now, first of all, take a look at your quick launch here, and you see we have a link to OneDrive Elevator Skills, and that's exactly where we are here. Now, very important thing. I want you to look at these little symbols here. You see these little cloud symbols? What that's telling us is that these files are actually still stored in the cloud. They're not actually on our computer, and Microsoft OneDrive does this to save us space on our computer. But if you want the file to be physically on your computer, and this is important to remember, if you're going to travel to a place that doesn't have Wi-Fi and you need those documents, you have to make sure that they are actually on the document. And to do that, you can simply click on the icon here, right-click, and see this, always keep on this device. If we click there, see that now we've got that full green circle with a check mark. That means that's an important document, and it's always going to sync up when you're online, and it's always going to keep the newest version on your computer. Now, if I simply double-click on a document, it downloaded it, and it's opening it up. I'm going to stop opening it up. That's not the important part. The important part here is that the symbol now is a circle, a green circle with a green check mark. You'll notice that that's different from this symbol. This indicates that the document is on the local computer, and if I see that, it's available on this device, but it's not an important document. It is not always necessarily going to be kept on this device. So if you want your documents to make sure they're always on the device, you need to go ahead and right-click, come on, get it right on there, and select Always Keep on this device. Now this is going to start downloading this whole folder just like that. And now these documents are here. So let's go ahead, let's close that. Let's get our browser back up, and I want to take a look over here. I have to get my taskbar back up. There we go. Come on. There. See this here? OneDrive Elevator Skills Up to Date. And if we click on that, we get this window, and it shows us which documents it has most recently downloaded. We have ellipses next to those where we can open, share, and view online. We have the option to open our OneDrive folder. We can also view online, which will take us to our browser and back to OneDrive. We also have more, and we have some ellipses where we can open our OneDrive folder. We can look at some settings. We can view online. We can pause the syncing if we don't want our documents to sync automatically. We can manage storage, which is another lesson for another day. Settings are another lesson for another day. We can get help, send feedback, and we can close OneDrive. Now, I will caution you, closing OneDrive means everything will stop syncing. You're going to exit OneDrive. You're going to shut it down on your computer. So make sure that that's what you want to do. So now you've seen how to sync your OneDrive files from OneDrive to your local computer. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.